Automoblox Lady starts with a triangular pedestal. The issue with the triangular pedestal is that then you have to center a circle on it, and that can be a little bit of a tricky thing to do.
Is there a princess scrub?
No. Okay, so start with a generic sketch. And I'm going to grab the polygon tool. When you're using the polygon tool, I recommend not worrying about dimensions and just creating the basic shape. It makes the whole job a lot easier. Then once you've got the shape, then you can come back for dimensioning. It's 0.556 from the back edge to the front point. So I'm going to dimension from here to here, 0.556. And then if you notice this thing isn't really perpendicular or square to any edges, that bugs me, and it's something that I prefer to fix. So if you notice that line, and what you can do here is then come over here, and in your sketch constraints, and we don't use these constraints a ton, but in this case, it's worth taking a look at. Got a lot of options. We want to make this a horizontal line, and you see how it rotated that? That just squares it up and makes it a lot nicer to work with. So once you've got all the dimensions on there, then you can add your circle. And I want you to use the appropriate dimensions, but for now, don't worry about that. So extrude, let's say it goes 0.25, because again, I'm not worried about the dimensions, but I want you to use them. Then I'm going to sketch on top. I'm going to add a circle to that. And then I'm going to extrude that circle. And so at this point, you have a triangular base and a circular pedestal. And the dimensions are all here. Use them, follow them along. It's pretty simple. Once we've got this pedestal, then it's time to actually start building the lady. Now, the tricky thing with Lady is the lady is a loft, and she's made up of 3 different sketches. So the way you treat this is you've got a sketch at the bottom level, sketch in the middle, and a sketch at the top. So it takes 3 sketches to pull this off. So I like to just start by adding some construction planes. And so you hit construction, offset from here. And so we'll make this her waist. And then we'll do one more for her shoulders. If that's her waist, shoulders should maybe be there, we'll say. And so that gives you the planes that you need. And again, that's construct and then offset. And then I want to sketch down here to add the ellipse that's going to represent kind of the bottom of the dress. So ellipse, center it, drag. So we'll say that's an ellipse that I want to use. Now, one thing I want to stress is that just like Automoblox Man, I want you to use the right pedestal dimensions. After that, it's up to you, and you'll probably want to tweak this as you start adding decals to get the size right. Because the chances of you getting it exactly the way you might want to begin with are slim. And so maybe I don't even like that. Maybe I want that to be just a little bigger. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm going to come up and I'm going to sketch on this plane. One handy thing you can do is press P to project that, and then do an offset. So now I've got, we'll say that's the waist. And then I'm going to sketch up top. And I can project that again. So then what I end up with is this stack of sketches. And you can play with their sizes. You're going to want to as you try to get some images on there. The sizing, I wouldn't recommend worrying about it at all when you start. It's when you get your decals that's going to start to really matter. So let's just say those are my sizes. And then what I want to do is to loft between them. So I want to create a loft that goes from here to there. And you can see it kind of makes this really, I think, bizarre shape. What you can do is go in here and do direction. And then do direction there. And you can play with these takeoff weights. and you can create really kind of, depending on the weight, you can shape this loft however you want so that it best makes sense with your decal. I mean, what ended up happening eventually, as you play with the weight, you can see it actually will turn over on itself, which could be really useful if you're trying to make some complex like cones or weird things down the road. But for the purposes of the Automoblox Lady, I don't know, like a 3 or a 4 is probably reasonable. Just so it's not quite so like lampshady, because that's a weird shape for things. So some curves. So once you've got and that's actually really kind of strange looking from this side. Once you've got the shape dialed in, and again, at any time you can come in and just like, let's say you're not happy with this particular ellipse, you can make it a little bit bigger. When you finish your sketch, it's going to automatically update in here. And so once you get your decal on there, it's pretty quick to just jump back into any one of these sketches, make the change you need to make, and then it'll automatically update here. So just get some ellipses in there, get your loft started, and then you can play with exactly how it should be set up later. Now, one of the things I need to do is go back in here and turn on the origin. That way I can add a sketch on this plane. Ooh, if I can get a hold of it. There we go. And just like with Automoblox Man, I need to create an arc to cut the shoulders. Now, you can kind of tweak this however you see, however you see fit. That works for me. And then I want to use a split of that body with this arc. And now you can see it's kind of split this face. If I go over here to the bodies and I just turn off the visibility of the top one, that's all I need to do. And then I want to add a fillet. What's the hotkey for fillet? F. 0.2 is too big. It's not going to run. That'll work. And then just like Automoblox Man, I want to...
He's showing his shoulders. It's not allowed.
Say what?
He's showing his shoulders.
Showing shoulders. Nice. So I'm going to sketch on here again. And with Automoblox Man, same deal. We want to add a neck and a head. Oh, I didn't even say what I did there. So this is a middle plane. I didn't even have to use a mid plane. You can just see it splits right down the center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good looking out. And then revolve the head and neck around the edge. Now it's going to default to a cut. Make sure you change it to a join. Grab the fillets. That's not exactly what I had in mind.
Wow, that looks.
You got a small head.
It looks like a sucker.
It does. Let's try a different radius.
Ah, there we go. Let it go out here now.
There we go.
Trying to go so like.
And we'll do some couple of fillets down here. Okay. Then you add your decals. So insert decal. And I'm going to string this all together. And you don't actually have to string the whole thing at once. You can just do different parts. So
Put a claw bottom there.
you got to. I don't know. We'll just stick that on there, and then just play with this to get the size and shape as you want it, where you need it.